So that's where we're.
John, I put his shirt on and I try to stop bleeding and I try to give him CPR.
You have everything that you could.
I knew that. That's what I did. That's why I told you to just be quiet. Because I couldn't stand sit there and listen to you talk that bullshit and you're the one responsible for her death.
Kendra Farler was 15 years old. She was curious and creative and had a laugh that stuck with you. On April 14th, 2024, she was shot and killed in Dayton, Ohio. Her father pulled the trigger. And then, because some people are exactly as rotten as they appear, he tried to blame his nonverbal autistic stepson, a child who couldn't speak to defend himself. This case is about what happens when investigators refuse to let a lie stand. It's about a community that mourned a young girl who deserved so much more time. And it's about a man who thought he could talk his way out of the obvious. He was wrong. If you want to see how this unravels, stick around and subscribe. Let's get into it.
911 with location of your emergency.
She's been shot! My daughter! She's been shot!
Okay, what is the
She's been shot! She's been shot! I don't know! She's been shot! Just please!
Man, what is the... And who shot her? Who shot her?
Please, hurry, please!
Ma'am, who shot her? Ma'am, can you hear me?
That's Jennifer on the line, Kendra's stepmother, and you can hear it. She's not answering the question. Who shot her? The dispatcher asks it 3 times. 3 times. No answer. Now here's what you need to understand about this moment. Kenneth is right there. He's a convicted felon with roughly 40 arrests to his name, drug trafficking mostly. 4 days before this call, there was already a warrant out for his parole violation. So when Jennifer hesitates, she's not confused. She's terrified. And she's standing next to the man who just killed her stepdaughter.
Who shot her?
My stepson, he's autistic. He had no... It was an accident, ma'am. He's autistic. He had no idea what he was doing.
And there it is, the pivot. Watch how fast he goes from grieving father to blame shifter. He's autistic. He had no idea what he was doing. Kenneth is pinning a murder on a nonverbal child who cannot speak to defend himself. That's not panic talking. That's calculation. He chose the one person in that room who literally could not contradict him. And here's what makes it worse. Investigators would later confirm Wyatt wasn't even near the weapon. Kenneth didn't just lie, he weaponized his stepson's disability.
Where is she? Where's the gun?
Upstairs, go up to the right. Back half the blood air floor over down.
Is the gun up?
Yeah, they're going shooting.
Where's the gun?
Now you're seeing what those first officers walked into. Total chaos. Everyone screaming, blood everywhere. A 15-year-old girl dying on the floor. And Kenneth? He's already got his story ready. But here's the thing about crime scenes. Cops are trained to separate witnesses immediately, get individual statements before anyone can coordinate a narrative. That's exactly what saved this case. Because the moment they pulled Jennifer aside and got her away from Kenneth, the truth started coming out.
Let's get out and do protective sweep.
Yep.
Okay, I think somebody else rolled up with a car.
Okay. Come on, sir. Come with me. Fader, will you take
I'll
him?
take the first guy.
Yep. Go with that officer there.
Gloves.
What? No, not yet.
It was
Nope.
It was a kid.
Nope.
Whoa,
Nope, stop.
What are you doing?
Hey, hey, Relax.
Why are you being so aggressive?
Leave your phone.
I'm on the phone with my grandmother.
Let go.
Give him your phone.
Why are you doing
Let
that?
go.
Give him
You're
your
going to go to the ground.
Stop.
What?
This is Dad. He was in the room.
Hey, whoa.
He was in the room.
What is going on?
It's okay. Come on. You're fine. Come on. I need your papers. Okay. It's okay. Come with me, okay? You're fine. You're fine. Okay, you're fine. Are you mom?
Watch Kenneth's hands when they take his phone. That immediate aggression, that instinct to fight back over a device. This is a man who just watched his daughter get shot, and his first impulse is to wrestle cops over a cell phone? Meanwhile, Jennifer is compliant, quiet, already starting to crack under the weight of what she knows. The officers don't realize it yet, but they're looking at 2 very different people here. One who's hiding something, and one who can't carry the lie much longer.
Who are you to her? Just talk with me.
I'm sorry.
You're what? Stay here. Oh, you're a mom? Are you mom?
Your stepmom.
Your stepmom? Okay. What's your name, miss?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, do you have anything else on you that I need to know about? No? Okay. I'm just going to do a quick sleep. Keep your eyes right. Okay. Okay. Over here. Step right in here. Okay. 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 Just swing your legs, okay? Jennifer.
234 is check up.
Can you tell me what happened?
234 is cancel.
No, still 38.
Hold on a second.
His friend brought the gun in the room to show him,
Okay.
and he stepped up from it to come to the bathroom.
Who did?
Greg,
Okay.
and he left it in there. My son grabbed it and picked it up,
Okay.
and he
Okay.
and she was sitting with me.
Okay. Was she sitting down?
She was standing.
She was
at the door.
standing at the door? Okay. Who was the friend that brought it in?
Greg,
Greg brought it in?
yeah, it was his gun.
Okay. Okay. So is that Dad? No.
Dad's friend.
Dad's friend is Greg.
Yep.
Who's Dad?
Dad is Kenny.
Kenny? Okay. So Kenny's dad, Greg's the friend who brought the gun in. Does Greg live with you guys?
He lives in the other room.
Jennifer is doing something Kenneth never expected. She's talking. And not just talking, she's laying out the whole structure. Greg brought the gun in. Greg lives in the other room. Kenny is the dad. This is a boarding house where Kenneth was staying because he couldn't legally be anywhere near his own family. Remember that parole violation warrant from 4 days earlier? Kenneth wasn't supposed to have contact with these kids at all. Jennifer isn't just cooperating with police, she's dismantling his entire cover story piece by piece.
No!
Who are you?
I'm the grandma.
Grandma? Okay.
I was bringing my son food.
Is your son?
Greg.
He's Greg? Okay.
Okay. What is going on? What's happened? Please, God, no! Don't tell me.
Okay.
No.
Right now, we're figuring it out.
Where is?
It does come out like it was on fruits.
But who? Where?
So that's where we're.
No.
Can you get?
No.
I gotta take this with me, Kim.
He's not going to be able to eat it right now. If you.
I don't
You guys-
want to do what the fuck here, but that's not the point.
Where's Greg?
Okay.
Is he?
He's here. Everybody else. No, he's under arrest right now. Everybody's detained until we figure out he's going on.
No. No. God, no.
The grandmother doesn't even know yet. She showed up to bring her son food and walked straight into a crime scene where her granddaughter is dying. Listen to that officer try to soften it. It does not look like it was on purpose. That's what Kenneth told them. That's the lie already spreading through the scene before anyone's had a chance to question it. Meanwhile, Kendra's grandmother is begging God for answers she's about to hate. Kenneth put that woman through this. He killed her granddaughter and made her find out like this.
I'm in shock. I don't even know how to feel.
It will take a minute for it to all set in. I'm very sorry for your loss.
She's a great kid. She don't do nothing wrong. She was so smart. John, I put his shirt on her. I tried to stop bleeding, and I tried to give him CPR on her.
You did everything that you could.
He didn't mean to do it. I know he didn't mean to do it. He don't understand. He don't know any better.
He didn't understand what it was.
He plays Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty and stuff on Xbox, and I don't know if he just seen it. He was sitting on the bed, and I don't know if he seen the shotgun next to the cabinet or what. All I heard was the shot, and by the time I turned around to come out of the bathroom, I seen her laying on the floor. Oh my God. Oh my God. I gotta call her mother's family. I gotta call her mother's family. One of these officers have my phone.
We'll get it back to you, okay?
When I get out, can I get my phone? When he lets me out, so I can call her.
We'll call. Let's see, okay? I have to confirm with the detectives. They're in charge.
So here's Kenneth doing what he does best, performing fatherhood while hiding murder. She's a great kid. She doesn't do nothing wrong. He's right about that. Kendra was a bright and curious 15-year-old who deserved so much better than this man. But watch how seamlessly he pivots from grief to reinforcing the Wyatt story. He plays Grand Theft Auto. Kenneth spent 20 years running from consequences across 40 arrests. He knows exactly how to sell a narrative. The comfort he's offering his other daughter, that's not love. That's witness management.
Baby, there we go.
Oh, you're so much. Keep it gone, Dave. Keep it gone. Why did you tell me to do, baby? It's not his fault.
What happened?
Why picked up great scarf with the trigger? He didn't know what he
Where's
was.
mommy? Where's mommy?
She's over in another car.
She's talking to an officer right now, okay?
I need you right now, baby.
Just give your daddy a big old hug. He's a big love hug, okay?
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna leave the state, baby. We're gonna get away from you. My poor baby. My poor baby. We gotta stay strong,
I'm
baby.
gonna go back there.
You're good.
We have to stay strong.
This is the other daughter clinging to him in the back of a police car. And Kenneth holds her tight and whispers comfort like he didn't just orphan her in every way that matters. We gotta stay strong. The audacity. This man has 40 arrests on his record. He knows the system. He knows how this looks to cameras and officers watching. A devastated father holding his child. But here's what the footage doesn't show you. Within hours, his own brother will walk into that station and start telling a completely different story. The cracks are already forming.
We ain't gonna play games. You weren't asleep.
That's 100% I was asleep. 100. I swear to God, 100.
You just had the gun shooting it off for Kenny.
No, I did not. Absolutely 100% not. You can see my bed where I rolled out of bed. I asked whoever was in that bed. That's 100%. I was asleep. Absolutely. 1,000,000%. There's not even a question.
I just talked to Jennifer and Kenny, and neither one of them say you were asleep.
Because Christ Christ, because I just woke up and ran in there. I said, "What's going on?" I literally had 1 second, turn the corner.
Where'd you wake up from? It happened in your room, wasn't it?
No, absolutely not. My bedroom's the other one.
The brother. Kenneth's own brother just walked in and blew up the entire story in under 2 minutes. 1,000,000% he was asleep. Says it happened in a different room than Kenneth claimed. And here's the part that matters. Police already talked to Jennifer and Kenny, and neither of them mentioned the brother sleeping. 3 people in one boarding house, and nobody can keep their lies straight? This is what happens when you build a cover story on panic instead of planning. The arrest warrant practically writes itself.
Stepson.
Take
the child.
Huh?
Come here.
Take the child out.
Come here.
I thought you was afraid.
Are you lying to me? Whose room is that?
Take him downtown.
Police aren't playing anymore. You're lying to me isn't a question. It's a statement. And Jennifer knows it. What you're watching is the moment someone realizes the story Kenneth built for her just collapsed under its own weight. She's been carrying this secret for hours while Kenneth orchestrated the blame onto a child who can't speak. A nonverbal, autistic teenager who had nothing to do with this. Now Jennifer has a choice. Keep protecting the man who killed her stepdaughter, or tell the truth. They're taking her downtown. The confession is coming.
Back to cruiser at the scene. All right. You guys are not being honest about what happened. Not in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to give you one opportunity to be honest with me about everything. Okay? And I mean everything.
It was true.
I know that. That's only the beginning. That's only the beginning.
It was Kenny the shooter.
It was Kenny the shooter? I'm sorry, Kendra. Okay. I want to go back over a little bit of what we talked about previously, okay?
Jennifer folds, and when she does, she gives them everything. Kenneth shot his daughter, not Wyatt, not an accident, Kenneth. Now, here's what makes this particularly satisfying. This man has roughly 40 arrests dating back 2 decades, drug trafficking mostly. 4 days before he killed Kendra, there was already a warrant out for his parole violation. 40 chances to course correct, and he spent every single one of them perfecting the art of the lie. But Jennifer just ended his streak. The evidence is now undeniable, and Kenneth's lifetime of slipping through cracks just hit concrete.
It was Kenny, not her son Wyatt, who pulled the trigger, which is bad for a number of reasons. One of them being that Kenneth shouldn't have had any guns in the first place. As a convicted felon, Kenny isn't allowed to possess a weapon. And when we say he's a convicted felon, we mean convicted. Over 20 years, from age 19 to 39, Kenneth was arrested 40 separate times on various charges, mainly drug trafficking. In fact, just 4 days before Kendra was killed, an arrest warrant was issued for Kenneth for failing to report to his parole officer, meaning that, had anyone done their job in those 4 days, Kendra never would have died at the hands of her father. Or had to witness the other illegal activity going on in the home leading up to her tragic death. Because it wasn't just guns that the family possessed in spades.
Now, I'm not going to go into the story that you told me previously, because I don't know what's true, what's not true. I know a lot of it's not true. So I'm going to give you a chance to start again from the beginning. Okay, what was your guys' morning? What did you guys do?
We just got up, changed our clothes, sat around, Kendra was getting ready to go to the park with a friend.
Okay, and then when you sat around, were you guys in Kenneth's room?
Yes.
Okay, and describe Kenneth's room for me.
It's a big room with a couch and a bed and 3 TVs.
Okay, is this the room where the shooting happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've been just momentarily, I know where Kendra is located. The room that she's located in is at Kenneth's bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. So when the shooting happened, who all was in the room? Okay, what about Greg? You know Greg?
Yeah.
Was Greg in the room?
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit, I'm going to get into what you told me a little bit earlier. You told me a story about that being Greg's shotgun and Greg having brought it in. Was that true? Okay, whose shotgun is it?
It's Kenny's.
It's Kenny's. How long has Kenny had the shotgun?
A couple weeks.
Couple weeks? Okay. So you guys woke up around 10 o'clock or so. Did you guys do anything? I mean, you said you kind of changed clothes. Kendra was getting ready. Everybody was kind of in the room. What was going on in the room?
We were all just hanging out and just getting ready to roll and smoke. And he was messing with his gun.
You said you were getting ready to smoke?
Yeah.
Smoke. Okay. Apparently a couple pills had fallen off, but you were out of your pocket. You said those.
I got on the table. I just grabbed it real quick.
Okay. What kind of illegal drugs do you use? When was the last time you used?
Earlier today.
Okay, because your pupils are still dilated right now. So you woke up at 10. What time do you think you used?
10:30.
About 10:30. Okay. How much do you use?
Just one.
Just one. Is there more target somewhere? Or?
Nothing I know of.
Okay. Did you use anything else? No.
Yeah.
You guys had this point?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What about Kenny and drugs? What did he use? He used this morning? When's the last time you know that he used?
Last night.
About what time?
Probably around midnight.
Do you know if he has more room?
I don't know where he said if he has.
40 arrests, 2 decades of second chances. And it all ends in a boarding house surrounded by drugs and illegal firearms, with his teenage daughter bleeding out on the floor. Kenneth wasn't just a felon who shouldn't have had a gun. He was a man who had been given every opportunity to change and chose chaos every single time. 4 days earlier, someone could have picked him up on that warrant. Kendra would still be alive. Instead, she visited her father and paid for 20 years of systemic failure with her life. That's not just a tragedy. That's an indictment.
I was on the bed, and Kendra was standing in the doorway and ready to leave.
Where was Kenny?
He was next to me on the couch, and I was on the couch closest to the door.
So he's closer to the bed?
Yes.
Okay, and what's he doing?
He's messing with it.
He's messing with it. What's he doing? I haven't even seen the gun. Are you familiar with the style, like a pump shotgun, where you like pump the front end of it to load and unload it?
So, yeah.
Okay, was he doing that, or was he loading and unloading the weapon?
He wasn't loading or unloading it. He said something about he didn't know if it was loaded, and he wanted to go do something with it, I think, to check if it was loaded. And I don't really know anything about guns, so I don't know what he was doing with it.
Did he point the gun at Kendra?
He was messing with her, and he said something to her, and then I don't know what he said, but then he shot the gun, and I screamed. I was looking at her, talking to her.
When you say he's messing with her, like, what was he doing?
I honestly don't know. I know he had the gun, she was telling him to put it down, and he was laughing at her or something, and next thing you know, she was on fire. And I couldn't hear her.
She was telling him to put the gun down?
He was laughing at her. Jennifer just said Kenneth was laughing at Kendra before he pulled the trigger. Not panicking, not fumbling with an unfamiliar weapon. Laughing. And then he shot his daughter while she stood there, unable to process what was happening. This wasn't a tragic accident with a gun he didn't know was loaded. This was cruelty dressed up as chaos. Jennifer watched her husband mock a 15-year-old girl and then kill her. That image is going to follow this case all the way to sentencing.
That you saw Kenny holding that shotgun when it went off, correct? I do this. Did you ever at any point touch the shotgun?
No, I don't think I ever heard the shotgun.
Okay. First off, I find it almost unbelievable that somebody would try to pin this on him. Alright. But I appreciate that. I understand a little bit with obviously him telling you. But I appreciate you being honest about it, alright? Because he doesn't have to live with that. That's not right. For people to think that he did this.
That's what I thought.
No matter what condition, that's not right. Sit back. Be just a minute, okay?
Jennifer just did something Kenneth never prepared for. She cleared Wyatt, completely, unprompted. A woman who watched her husband kill her stepdaughter hours ago is now protecting the one person Kenneth tried to destroy to save himself. And notice what the detective says. I find it almost unbelievable that somebody would try to pin this on him. Because it is unbelievable. Wyatt is nonverbal. Wyatt is autistic. Wyatt physically could not have done what Kenneth claimed. Jennifer knows this. The detective knows this. And now Kenneth's entire defense just evaporated, because the one witness he was counting on to stay scared chose to be honest instead.
Your wife is fine. You sit and talk to her. Kenneth, I'm Detective House. I talked to you out there at the scene. All right? Obviously, I'm going to talk to you more because you guys weren't being honest out there. Don't start. Listen to me first. All right? Your stories made no sense. They were inconsistent. We spoke obviously to Greg too. All right? We're just going to talk to your wife. So when you go ahead, hold on, be quiet. And she told us the truth. Okay? The truth that we already knew. About what? About what happened to Kendra. Give me a
So now we're watching them confront him directly. Your story makes no sense. They were inconsistent. And here's the thing about Kenneth. This is not his first interrogation room. This is a man with roughly 40 arrests dating back 2 decades. He's been questioned by cops more times than most people have been to the dentist. He knows the rhythm. He knows the pressure tactics. But what he doesn't know is that Jennifer already told them everything. You can see him trying to recalibrate in real time. The detective says she told us the truth, and Kenneth's entire playbook just became useless. 20 years of slipping through cracks, and this is where it ends.
All right, Kenneth, this is what we're going to do, okay? Whose shotgun is that?
Whose shotgun is it?
Whose shotgun is it? The truth.
It's mine.
It's yours.
It was mine.
How long have you had that shotgun?
Couple days.
Couple days? Okay. Where did you get it?
Be honest with you, I didn't know the rest.
You just got off the street?
There was anything in it.
You have any other guns?
I don't.
You don't have a black semi-auto?
A black?
Or semi-auto handgun?
A black one?
I don't know, that's what Jennifer said it was black. I haven't seen it.
I did go on.
It's gone?
Yeah.
So if there's any other guns in your room, who are those going to?
As far as any other guns in my room, it's oblivious.
You what?
Oblivious to me.
You wouldn't know about any other guns in your room? Okay. So you had the gun about a couple of days, got it from some guy off the street. The room where this happened is your room, correct? And that would be the room that has the couch, the bed, and the TVs in it. And that's where Kendra was at, correct? Mm-hmm. All right. Kenneth, I want to give you an opportunity to be completely honest about everything. Because I tell you what, Kenneth, look at me. Look, I don't care if you can see me well or not. If I would look in your eyes when I tell you this, it's bullshit to pin this one. Who had nothing to do with this.
Do what?
You heard exactly what I said. I'm giving you the opportunity right now to come clean about what actually happened, because I know what happened.
Did you tell me what happened?
No, that's your job to do, to tell me, because you couldn't keep your story straight. You already lied to me about the shotgun, you lied to me about the rooms.
I lied to you about the shotgun.
You're right, you shouldn't have. But now let's be honest about the rest of the story. It's time to man up. And you're willing to do this to him?
Do this to him?
Yeah.
I think it's his fault.
You're right. Because he never had the shotgun, you did. Kendra even told you to put it down. It's time to be a man. Admit what happened.
Where's my wife?
I already told you where your wife's at. She was sitting in the room right next to you over there. We just got done talking to her. She was placed right back in the room right next door to you before we brought you out. That's where she's at.
And you're telling me she said I did this?
Absolutely. Does it amaze you she told the truth?
This is my daughter.
Yeah, I heard you sit there and mumbled about that when you sat down. That's why I told you just be quiet. Because I couldn't stand to sit there and listen to you talk that bullshit, and you're the one responsible for her death. Be a man.
It was an accident.
Then be a man and talk about it.
So,
I imagine it is. But you can't do this to... That's a hard enough life already. Not allowed for him to walk around people.
Be a man. That's the phrase that finally cracks him open. And here's what makes it land. Kenneth has spent his entire adult life avoiding exactly that. 40 arrests, and not once did he stand accountable. He ran, he blamed, he manipulated. Now a detective is asking him to do the one thing he's never done in 39 years of criminal activity: own something. You can hear him stammering about the shotgun he got off the streets a couple days ago. A felon, on parole, with an active warrant, buying guns off the street. And somehow still thought he could talk his way out of this one.
We're on the side of it, you push up two jacket shells.
Okay.
And when I was ejecting the shells, nothing came out.
So you like racking the shotgun? They call racking the shotgun. So like
ejecting shells out.
And nothing was coming out.
Nothing came out of it. Nothing came out when I did it. And the last time I put it forward, it went off.
Did I hit Kendra? Let me ask you this, Kendra. Were you playing around pointing the gun at her?
No.
Jennifer said you were.
I didn't point it at her. I was holding it in a gentle direction.
She said you were messing with her. Kendra was telling you to put the gun down.
No, that's not true. That is not true.
Why would she say that?
Maybe she just wasn't paying attention to exactly what was going on.
Or maybe you just were 100% certain in your head that the gun wasn't loaded.
But I didn't actually, there was no point in nothing like that. I had it like this.
And I'm not saying you had to put it into your shoulder.
I pushed the lever up. I pumped it 6 times. And normally it ejects all the shells out of it. And it didn't. And when I pulled the pump forward the last time, I don't know if my finger was on the trigger. I really honestly don't remember it. It went on.
There's no point that you pointed it at Kendra.
No, I was never pointing them.
Did she ever tell you to put the gun down or quit messing with it?
I didn't hear. If she did, I didn't hear.
Okay.
The gun, the TV was loaded. And I would never do something like that on purpose. I would never harm myself.
Notice what he's doing now. He's inventing mechanical failures. The shells didn't eject, the pump malfunctioned. His finger may or may not have been on the trigger. This is a man with 2 decades of street experience, suddenly pretending he doesn't understand how shotguns work. Jennifer already told detectives he was laughing while he racked that weapon. She watched him point it at Kendra. And now he's sitting here describing some mysterious gun malfunction like he found it in a museum. The lies aren't even coherent anymore. They're just reflexes.
You after the shotgun went off?
I dropped it, I ran straight to her. I grabbed it, took my shirt off, and I lifted up the shirt, and I put it inside. And I started holding it, and I started screaming, call 911. And I started giving her CPR. My wife goes to school for medical assisting, and she's learning, all that stuff. And she came over and started helping do CPR.
And that right there is the last time Kenneth Farler gets to tell his version of events to anyone who matters. On May 14th, 2025, he stood in a courtroom and pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter, reckless homicide, endangering children, and multiple firearm offenses. The judge handed him 25 years. He's currently sitting in Chillicothe Correctional Institution. And in March of this year, his appeal was denied. The Ohio Court of Appeals found no merit in his claims about the validity of his plea or the effectiveness of his counsel. 20 years of running from consequences, and the man finally hit a wall he couldn't talk his way around. But here's what I need you to understand. 25 years is the outcome. It's not the point. The point is, Kendra Farler was 15 years old. She was described by everyone who knew her as joyful and curious and creative. She had a vibrant spirit. She made people around her better. Her funeral on April 22, 2024, drew community members who genuinely mourned because she was genuinely loved. That's who we lost, a teenager with her entire life ahead of her, a girl who walked into a boarding house to visit her father and never walked out. Kenneth didn't just take her life. He tried to frame a child who couldn't speak for her murder. He stood over his daughter's body and started constructing alibis before the ambulance arrived. He comforted his other daughter in the back of a police car while knowing exactly what he'd done. He made Jennifer carry the weight of his secret until she couldn't anymore. Every single person in Kendra's orbit was damaged by this man's choices and his cowardice. Jennifer cooperated with authorities and provided the testimony that made this conviction possible. She's since relocated to Cincinnati. Wyatt, the nonverbal autistic stepson Kenneth tried to destroy, is back with his biological mother, receiving specialized care for the trauma this caused him. These are real people picking up real pieces. What stays with me about this case isn't Kenneth's interrogation performance, or his mechanical malfunction excuses, or even his 40 arrests over 2 decades. It's the system that kept giving him chances while Kendra paid the price. 4 days before he killed his daughter, there was a warrant out for his arrest. 4 days. If someone had executed that warrant, she'd be alive right now. She'd be 17, maybe thinking about college, maybe just being a teenager with problems that actually have solutions. Instead, we're here. Cases like this remind me why I do what I do. Not to gawk at tragedy, but to make sure the victims stay centered in these conversations. Kendra deserves to be remembered as who she was, not just as evidence in her father's criminal case. The broader lesson here isn't complicated. Violent repeat offenders with access to firearms and proximity to children are a preventable catastrophe. The system knew who Kenneth was. It just didn't act fast enough. So if you're still watching, I appreciate you staying through something this heavy. These stories matter because the people in them mattered. Speaking of patterns that should have been stopped sooner, I covered another case recently where a married man developed an obsession with a 17-year-old girl, and when she threatened to tell his wife what he'd been doing, he made sure she never got the chance. Different case, but the same lesson. The warning signs were there. They're always there. Link should be on your screen now if you want to see that one next. Until then, take care of yourselves. And remember KendraFarler.